Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the world of detective movies and counting down the top 10 films that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Whether you're a fan of classic whodunits or modern crime thrillers, we've got something for everyone on this list. Starting off our list at number 10 is Memories of Murder. Memories of Murder is a detective movie that only Bong Joon-ho could make. The writer/director's calling cards are all here. Genre-bending, flawless high-wire performance from Song Kang-ho, patient and ingenious direction. Memories of Murder's power lie in its characters, particularly Park Do-man. Park is simply not a good detective. He's barely a good guy. And yet, he wants to solve these murders more than anyone else. So the question is, how far can sheer force will take you? The film is based on a true story, and Bong Joon-ho manages to make it both an entertaining thriller, while also being respectful towards the real-world victims of the horrific crimes. In the end, it's a heartbreaking portrait of a broken system made up of broken people.
이 순사밥도 먹는 거고 내가 다른 거 몰라도 이 사람 보는 눈은 있다는 거야.
Coming in at number 9 is Zodiac. Zodiac is David Fincher's painstaking masterpiece into the world of cryptic ciphers, late-night typewriters, and the insane fixation with solving a mystery. If you've ever wanted to brave the murky streets of San Francisco in the 1970s with nothing but your wits, and perhaps a handy flashlight, against a terrifyingly elusive serial killer, then buckle up. Fincher doesn't just take you on a murder mystery tour. He enrolls you in a masterclass of journalistic persistence and police procedural pitfalls. The film, dripping with the ink of an old newsroom and the frustration of an unsolved jigsaw puzzle, showcases Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., and Mark Ruffalo in a trio act so riveting, it's almost criminal. But here's the twist. Instead of your usual climactic Hollywood showdown, Zodiac leaves you with the haunting weight of ambiguity and the unsettling tick-tock of a clock that never stops.
What kind of Boy Scout? Eagle Scout, actually, first class.
Next up at number 8 is Prisoners. Prisoners revolves around the kidnapping of 2 young girls in Pennsylvania and the accompanying police search for the alleged kidnapper. Jake Gyllenhaal masterfully plays Detective Loki, the assigned police officer on the case. As Loki investigates, he arrests a suspect, Alex Jones, Paul Dano, but due to a lack of evidence, Jones is released. The father of one of the daughters takes matters into his own hands as he kidnaps Alex and holds him captive. In addition to his dusty appearance with neat black hair and a neck tattoo, Loki is an extremely compassionate, tenacious, and driven detective who emotionally participates in the investigation and the victim's family, which makes him excellent at his profession, and doesn't give up when the case hits dead ends.
I know you know where they are.
Where's my daughter?
At number 7, we have Blade Runner. There's never been another neo-noir like Blade Runner. The neon-drenched streets mix with the ageless architecture of the Tyrell Corporation. Harrison Ford's icy performance mixed with Rutger Hauer's humanistic tour de force. It's a movie filled with seeming contradictions that complement each other perfectly. Detective movies always wrestle with questions much larger than the mystery at hand, and this is especially true for Blade Runner, which asks nothing less than, what does it mean to be human? After an unforgettable monologue from Hauer and a stirring final shot, the question feels all the more urgent and unanswered.
What's this? Roy Batty. Probably the leader.
Moving on to number 6, we have The Maltese Falcon. The Maltese Falcon is a film noir where the shadows are as thick as the plot twists, and the fedoras tilted just the right angle of mystery. Before every second movie had a MacGuffin, John Huston was crafting a compelling tale around a bejeweled bird that everyone seemed willing to double-cross their grandmother for. Enter Humphrey Bogart playing Sam Spade, the private detective who's seen it all yet can't resist one more dance with danger. Beneath the snappy dialogues and atmospheric smoke rings, the Maltese Falcon is a meditation on greed and loyalty. It's also a reminder that in the noir world of 1941, not all that glitters is gold. Sometimes, it's just a lead bird coated in dreams and deceptions.
I know the value in human life you people put on it.
Coming in at number 5 is The Silence of the Lambs. What can be said about Silence of the Lambs that hasn't already been spoken into the ground? The expertly crafted screenplay, the stellar performances by Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster, and the unnerving direction by Jonathan Demme all seem like trite points. Silence of the Lambs' power can be seen in its countless imitators which followed. The movie's critical and commercial success made it the most influential thriller since Fritz Lang's M. Yes, some of Demme's masterpiece hasn't aged well, Buffalo Bill, but its overall impact has not waned in the decades that have passed since its release. Silence of the Lambs is a certified classic. If you're a fan of any serial killer detective movies that have come out in its wake, then this is definitely a film to put on your watch list.
Oh, Clarice, your problem is you need to get more fun out of life.
At number 4, we have Vertigo. Vertigo is arguably the master of suspense's best work, and is often in the conversation for the greatest movie of all time. That's because Vertigo is evergreen. It feels as groundbreaking today as it was in 1958. Like a lot of entries on this list, Vertigo is hugely influential, and yet, no one has come close to replicating its power. Hitchcock's film is chameleonic. It shifts in meaning and effect depending on how you approach it. It's a bedeviling mystery, yes, but it's also a moving love story, one which unflinchingly depicts the destruction wrought by the search for perfection. As such, Hitchcock has never been more self-reflexive, implicitly commenting on his own controlling nature.
Well, it's a cinch. Here, I look up, I look down.
Next up at number 3 is Knives Out. Rian Johnson's smash hit mystery is a family whodunit. Who killed wealthy Harlan Thrombey, Christopher Plummer, private detective Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig, turns up, hired by persons unknown to investigate the family, every member of which seems to have a motive, like in all the best Agatha Christie novels. With a cast including such luminaries as Plummer, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Chris Evans, and Toni Collette, it would have been easy for Blanc to have been a side character, but Craig imbues the detective with a sly southern charm that makes him the star of the show, both in this film and its sequel, Glass Onion.
Up your ass.
Oh, very nice.
Matter of fact,
Privileged
eat shit.
At number 2, we have Seven. Seven is filled with memorable moments. That hair-raising gluttony scene, the reveal of John Doe's apartment, and, who could forget, what's in the box? All these unforgettable scenes add up to a horribly bleak movie that seems to take place in one of the rings of hell. Although David Fincher had already directed Alien 3 and a lot of music videos, Seven is the first movie that really introduced the public to his sensibilities. The green-yellow color palette, high contrast, exacting coverage, dark outlook, it's all here. Seven is a magic trick, at once viscerally disgusting and endlessly rewatchable. How many times have we heard Detective Mill's final lament?
Have you ever seen anything like this? No.
And finally, coming in at number 1 is Chinatown. After the first golden age of noirs in the 1940s and 50s, the 70s saw a new resurgence for the genre, and Chinatown is the crown jewel of the era. Perhaps no other noir better encapsulated the disillusioned zeitgeist of 1970s America. As Jake Sheet digs deeper into the mystery presented to him, threads begin to unravel into uncomfortable truths. Chinatown has been analyzed by critics for half a century as a parable of the dark history behind LA's urban planning, a modern interpretation of Oedipus Rex, and a larger metaphor for the power dynamics in America. It's a layered and complex work worthy of rewatching. Chinatown has long been heralded as one of the greatest movies of all time, and there's no mystery as to why. As a cherry on top, it also boasts Jack Nicholson's greatest performance.
Mr. Gittys, have we ever met?
Well, no.
Never?
Never.
So there you have it, our top 10 detective movies that are sure to thrill and captivate audiences of all ages. Let us know in the comments which films are your favorites, and if there are any other detective movies you think should have made the list. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie recommendations and reviews. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on our channel.